everyone. We would like to welcome you tonight to this is a special call meeting for the Rockcastle County Board of Education. Uh, I'm happy to say that the last few weeks of school before summer break, and I hope everyone enjoyed their spring breaks. I hope all of our staff at Central Office got a little bit of a break and in our schools. So it is good to see everyone's face here tonight. This is a special called meeting, so it just got to be exactly what the agenda says tonight. So by looking at what I'd seen before, I think this probably be a pretty quick meeting. So that's always good, isn't it? Yes, always good. First thing on the agenda tonight, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we have a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Item 1B is a roll call. Please let the minutes note that all board members are present tonight. Item 1C is the reading of board team commitments. Do I have any volunteers to read those tonight? Miss Anna? You got volunteered?
Board team commitments for Rockcastle County Schools. To improve our effectiveness, the board team for Rockcastle County Schools commits to review processes and experiences to identify and direct improvements, continuously define and work towards long-term goals which serve all students of the district, make each decision based on facts and the best for all students, listen to each other and speak freely, work together, support each other, and not surprise one another, discuss, excuse me, discuss board deliberations to the point of mutual agreement, agreeable resolutions based on factual information, support the majority's decision projecting board unity towards shared goals for continuously improving district-wide student learning, operate without personal or political agendas, respect one another, agree to disagree respectfully, delegate implementation to superintendent and education team, and to respectively remind each other of these commitments.
Item 2 is to adopt the agenda. I need a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Now for the fun part of the night, item 3 is our school and community showcase. And we have the pleasure of having Ms. Willis here with us tonight for the middle school.
Thank you all for having us tonight. We have got Bryce Hunt, a 7th grader, Tegan Bond, an 8th grader with us from our student council. We're going to kind of go through some of the work that the middle school has done this year with our vision mission, implementing Club Day this year, and some of our Ren Rocket rewards and some of our fun days that we have throughout the building. So if we want to go to the next slide. Everything that we do in our building is based on our anchors, which is respectful, organized, committed, and kind. And we start every day on the announcements with hope you have a wonderful day. Remember to rock, respectful, organized, committed, and kind. And everything that we do, every decision goes back to those anchors. Every expectation, everything we do goes back to those. So when we did a lot of work this summer, if you're going to go to the next one, we worked as a leadership team, which is represented through the whole building. Every department, every content, and every grade level is represented. We came up with our new vision and mission. Our new vision is every rocket ready for launch. And then we talked about at Rockcastle County Middle School, our mission is to educate every student for a successful transition into high school with a focus on 3 essential areas: academic excellence, professional development, and responsible citizenship. This took work until November. We started in August. We worked on this through November to make sure every word was exactly what we wanted. And we have posters created for every single room in the building, not just our classrooms, but every room in the building, so that this is posted for everybody to see all day, every day. And in our next slide, so while we work on all of this every day, we work hard, we play hard. So we recognize and reward accomplishments in academic excellence, personal development, and responsible citizenship. We have a really good framework with our PBIS work that we've done to create a culture for kiddos that they know those expectations, that teachers know those expectations, and we can really focus on a really great educational environment for our students. So to talk about some of those expectations and fun things that we do, I'm going to turn it over to these two kiddos. Or who's talking about Ren Rallies? Are you talking about?
I start the audience because
No.
I don't start there.
You don't start there? All right, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about Ren Rallies. So we started our school year, very first day of school, really strong with a pep rally. And in that pep rally, everybody went to the gym. So instead of going to your homeroom and it being awkward and quiet, we all go to the gym. You don't have to figure out where you're supposed to go. Everybody just goes to the gym. You don't have to figure anything out. To a sixth grader trying to find that homeroom, going in, do I know anybody in here? That's really intimidating. So we started the first day of school. We got them pumped up for the school year. At the end of the 9 weeks, we also do that. Everybody goes to rallies. Everybody has fun. Everybody participates. They're going to talk in a little bit about the different levels of Ren card rewards that they get. We have games, we have prizes. Mr. Everett and Dr. Ballinger were there, and they got to dress up, and we had like horse races on the first day of school that they got to participate in. And it's a way for us to recognize all teams, all clubs, and everything that's happening in the school. Because we know that there's more than just athletics, there's also academics and personal achievements that kids have. So that's a time for us to recognize everything in the building. These are just some pictures. Citizens Banks is one of our biggest sponsors, so we did want to give a shout out to them. And just more pictures. So as you can tell, we do have a lot of fun. We work really hard, but we also play really hard too.
And rock culture. Activities that align to our school mission and the values that we respect. Recognition and rewards for positive behavior and academic achievement. Ring cards. The gold card is no more than 1B, no unexcused absences, no pass or suspensions. Silver card is no more than 2Cs, 1 unexcused absence, no pass or suspensions. The bronze card is no D's or F's, 2 unexcused absences, 1 pass, and no suspensions. The white card is the starter card. The white card has 3 perks. The bronze card has 6 perks. The silver card has 9 perks. And the gold card has 12 perks. My personal favorite perk is the end the day at 2:50 because I get to go to the library and just hang out with my friends. The themed gift. Students recognize staff with a small themed gift. Post-its and Sharpies, like thank you for leaving your mark. High Five Friday. Staff greets students in the morning during passing time with high fives. The Gratitude Wall. During November, students wrote notes of gratitude and they were posted in the hallway for everyone to read. What I enjoy about RCMS the most are the kind teachers that help me get through my day.
Compliment clothespins. Ren Rocket Club members made clothespins with positive messages to give to other students. Students were encouraged to pass it on when they met other students. Weekly homeroom attendance is awarded each week to the homeroom with the highest attendance percentage. You get a treat from youth service center and a traveling trophy that saves you their homeroom for the week. Positive tickets. Each staff member passes out 5 positive tickets per week. It can be given to any student for displaying the values of ROC. Students place tickets in a container in the front lobby. 6 tickets from students are drawn per week to receive prizes. Christmas karaoke. During Christmas dinner in the cafeteria, students choose Christmas songs to sing along as they get to eat lunch. Club day. First club day ever at RCMS took place in the month of January. It occurs monthly on a Friday, and you get 2 club blocks. There existing clubs at RCMS: Art, Choir, First Priority, FFA, Red Rocket, Smile, TSA, Unite, and so on and so forth. Club interest survey. Surveys sent to all RCMS students about what clubs they would be interested interested in. Surveys sent to staff about what clubs they think students would enjoy and what they would sponsor. From this, 33 different clubs were established at RCMS.
What is the Rim Rocket Club?
Red Rocket is like where you get to help out with like rally day and
Okay.
stuff.
Thank you.
Student club choice. Students chose 5 clubs they were most interested in being in. Ensured that each student received first choice. All students enrolled in 2 clubs and attended club day. Club support. $50 startup for each club from Youth Service Center. Citizens Bank donated cornhole boards and bags for cornhole club. UK Extension Office visits Cooking Club, RCHS FCCLA, and RCHS FFA, RCHS JRTC. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife visit Hunting and Fishing Club, and Dr. Ballinger visit RCMS FFA. And my experiences at RCMS, my favorite was when Dr. Ballinger came to FFA Club and showed us some molasses.
I will say the day that I came, must have been a day that the clothespins were given out because a student, he was so excited that he had been clothespinned and I had no earthly idea what he was talking about. And he was like, "Well, haven't you seen the TikTok trend?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." So he told me all about it, but I thought it was so sweet because he said, "If you come back, you might get a clothespin too." And I was like, "Okay, I'll be back maybe I'll get one." But yeah, Club Day is phenomenal.
Thank you. So you can tell that there's been a lot of hard work. Thanks to my team and the teachers at the middle school, it was more than a team effort. As you can tell, a lot of hard work has been put into this, creating it, organizing it, making sure that it runs each day. We call it our organized chaos days in the building, but it really has been a successful year really integrating the Ren Rocket days and the rally days and celebrating everything that's going on in the building. From this, we've seen an increase from year to year in our school quality survey that we take as part of KSA. We have club participation. Every student is involved. We have academic achievement that has also increased last year. We have more kids on the honor roll every 9 weeks due to this. And there's also our KSA scores. And also it has decreased our number of discipline referrals. I know at one of our last community members meetings, Mr. Reppert said that number wasn't high enough for the middle school for discipline referrals, but it was right. So we really have had a decrease in discipline referrals with this also. We're just going to keep this work moving. We're going to keep, what do we need to work on? What do we need to improve on? What would kids like to see? What would teachers like to see? And keep working and moving. Does something need to be changed, taking away? So we're open to suggestions. We're going to have those conversations at the end of the year with some student council and with our teacher leadership team. So that's everything that's kind of went on at RCMS this year. And they did a great job.
Yes,
They did a
absolutely.
good job.
Thank you, Ms. Willis, and thank you for bringing such wonderful students with you.
And she didn't complain about construction noise one time, so.
She does not want to be asked any questions about that, I can tell.
It's been fun.
It'll be good when you live through it.
It's so gonna be worth it.
I do have to say at the middle school, anytime you go in there, it feels very welcoming and the kids feel very comfortable. So I do appreciate that. It's not always like that at schools. So I do
We
think y'all
work
got
hard
that.
for that.
Yes, it's great.
I
Yes.
can tell a big difference in the culture as you walk in also. I've got some older girls and I really think that your SRO is like a game changer for every time I'm over there, there's so much interaction with the students.
Yes.
And I don't know, it's really impressive. So
All of y'all are like that. Yes.
yeah, it's wonderful every time. Thank you, Ms. Willis. Item 3B is the Rockcastle County High School Course Guide Demonstration. Ms. Savannah.
So Dr. Ballinger asked me to come and speak to you all on a big project that myself and our high school guidance counselors have been working on, which is kind of revamping our high school course guide. I know Miss Angie and Mr. Matt, this is something that they had really wanted to see happen. Those of you that may have never explored the course guide, it was a 72-page long document. It was really hard for a parent that doesn't have any knowledge about anything to go and find information. So me, Miss Casey Harper, Miss Amy Lewis all had this really good idea to collaborate and just give it a new life and make it really easy. Okay, we can go on to the next slide. So as we built this, I wanted to have some set goals to make sure we had the right end goal and knew what we wanted this to really look like. I wanted clarity and simplicity in this. It needs to be super clear, super easy for our families. You'll see as we go through the demonstration, everything can be found in about 2 to 3 clicks because in the world of analytics, if you cannot find something on a website in 2 to 3 clicks, most times people are just going to give up because they just simply can't find what they need. We want to have user-friendly navigation. Again, this is a lot of information. Since we've introduced the pathways, there's even more information. And we just want to make it so if a parent knows what their child's interested in, they can go directly to that. Relevant and updated information. We've laid this out so that Ms. Casey and Ms. Amy have the flexibility to go in and change things as needed. They don't even have to come to me if they need something updated. They can go into the website builder and fix that themselves, which takes out a whole step and a whole process of updating things. We wanted to make sure this was able to assist in the transition from middle school to high school. When students go from middle school to the high school, they start having to think about their pathways. Okay, what pathway do I want to go on? So I wanted to make sure that a middle school parent could easily get to the high school website and have everything at their fingertips. Then, of course, our family and community engagement. And I thought about this a lot as we visited the Reverse Career Fair today and got to see some of our students displaying their work. We don't just have parents looking at our course guide. It might be a potential business that wants to collaborate and is going to have a co-op or a work-based learning student. They may want to see, okay, well, if I'm bringing in somebody that was in the pre-engineering, I want to know what classes they've gone through, what processes they've learned. So I've also thought about that to make sure it's super easy. Before Kayla goes to the next slide, I will say you might want to turn and look at the big screen. It's going to kind of click through the website and I'll kind of explain things. I just want to make sure you can see it really well. So Kayla, whenever you're ready. So obviously you can start by going directly to the high school's page, but I did the demo from our page. So obviously you can toggle to the high school's page. Under the menu, it has its own button and it opens to a complete course guide. Up top, all of those big buttons are all of our basic information. So if someone needs graduation requirements, they can click on it. Everything they click opens to a new window, so they never lose the full course guide page in their browser. So you can see this is the full course guide if it was printable. It's 72 pages long. So you can see it's a lot of information in one spot. We have everything from the keys information, and then we also have scheduling forms. We thought it was important to add this so that if a parent wants to talk through their scheduling process with their student, they can see what they're going to be prompted with at the high school so they know kind of what process to take. Then up top, we have kind of our general education courses, and we have those course descriptions in there. Again, you can click any of those, takes you directly there. And again, you're always still going to have your course guide tab open. You're never going to lose it, so it's easy for families to toggle between different pages and see the information they're needing. Then we go into all of our pathways. Ms. Casey Harper has worked really hard to help me get all of this up and running. We have all of them, and they all have their own button. So if somebody knows they want to look at teaching and learning, they click teaching and learning, re-engineering, and has all the different pathway possibilities for high school students. Then once a parent finds what they're looking for, they can simply go and click, and it opens into a different page that is a whole world of information that has everything from pictures of our students actually doing this work to the whole path that they're going to take. And then we've also, Ms. Harper has included contact information. So parents know exactly who the teachers are for these pathways, provided information to reach out to those if they want to get further information. And that's how it's set up for all of these. minus this media and communications, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit widespread, so it's just the copy. Again, ROTC we've set up the same way. Just full of really good information that gives a really good insight on what these pathways look like. We also included our ATC on here. We gave them a hole they can click and just go to the ATC website, which is full of great information, but then we've also broke them down into their pathways as well, just to make it as streamlined and easy for families and our community members to find this information. Like I said, Ms. Harper worked tirelessly to make each of these individual pathway sites to make it super easy, and it's all in one page. And while we thought that having the course guide set up on the website like this was super important and made things a lot easier to navigate, I also thought about who our main targets were with this, and they were high school students. So thinking about, okay, how are we going to get high school students to utilize this tool? Since we've implemented the app within the school district, Haley can go to the next slide. We have made it so from the app, parents can go directly and students directly to the course guide from our app. So after the meeting, if you want to open up our Rockcastle County Schools app and go to the high school page, there's a button under the menu that will take you directly to the course guide. It's laid out just the same, the format's just a little different where you're looking on a different device. But again, everything is at your fingertips for our families, our staff, students, community members, anybody that might be trying to access this information. And again, it just opens. It looks just like it does on the website, just looks a little bit different when you're looking at a phone. But I thought if we really want our high school students to utilize this and look at their options, I thought having it on their phone, a few clicks away, would really help kind of give that connection to them. And working on this, going back to, having this as a tool for our middle school transition students and even for family and community students, that all ties back to our community-based accountability work, the work we've been doing within our pillars. This work has come directly from that, and it's helping us reach those goals that we've set in our pillars. Haley, go to the next slide. That's all I had. I know those demos kind of went a little quick, but I didn't want to put Kayla through the trouble of having to click through everything. If you all have questions, we can open the site live if you all have any questions, but I hope that was able to give you all some good insight of how that looks now.
I feel like we should have a party for it. I love it. It's the best thing, and it's awesome. If you've not used it as a parent for a student, you really do that, because my information heart just loves it. You can just see everything, and it's very user-friendly.
Well, and that was our goal. So looking through it, and I encourage you all to go and play around with the site, you can genuinely find what you're looking for in under 3 clicks, which for a parent that, maybe their students come home and, scheduling is the next day. Okay, well, we need to maybe get this figured out. They're not going to struggle anymore finding that information. And I think it's going to help our students tremendously. It's going to help families. And I think especially as we continue with work-based learning, having that for our potential work-based learning spots will be also just really, really beneficial.
Savannah, let me ask you, because it's been many years since I had a high school student. What did this look like before for a
So
incoming freshman?
It was on a it was linked on the high school's website, but if you wanted to look at it and if you were to go and print it, it would be a 72-page stack.
It was almost like a scanned-in document, wasn't it?
It was,
before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there were links or
Yeah.
buttons to click.
Okay.
It just was one. It was a book.
Just like you scanned it,
Yeah,
you had to
scroll
flip
down
through
through
it
it.
to get to what
Yeah,
you
you have to look at the table of contents, find what page you wanted to go to. But where we introduced the pathways, that kind of added a little bit of an extra struggle just to find, because it all didn't line up just perfect. So I felt like it was, because I actually really realized that I was looking at the course guide looking for some information, and I realized, okay, this is not very user friendly. And ever since we switched website managers, it has given us a lot of more leeway of what we can do with the website. Before, we didn't have as much kind of like design free will of what we could do. So and the printable one's on there if you want to look at what it's
No, no.
on there. So we just basically took the whole course guide of the high school and kind of broke it down into each pathway, each area, just to make it as easy as possible for our families. But I started to bring my printed one in here, but I didn't want to scare everybody. But it is a big document. So it was just kind of hard to look through, and I can only imagine, you know, I've always been blessed to have a mom that worked in the school district that kind of was able to help me navigate some things. But for kids that may not, or families that even are new to the district, navigating that information, I can only imagine how hard that would be from a parent standpoint.
It was. Because I'm one that really wanted to look at it, and I looked at a lot of different districts, and you'll be hard pressed to find anything better than that, even in the college world, because I'm starting that now, and theirs are very hard to navigate.
So, as an incoming freshman, when they start doing their scheduling, they do that, will they do that through this type, or do we still do one-on-one with
They still do
scheduling?
one-on-one. Yeah.
So that's like when they will fill out those scheduling forms. But I thought it would be really beneficial for a parent to see because, you know, their student's not going to have their mom or dad's or guardian sitting next to them when they're filling out that form. So I thought, oh, well, even if a parent could talk through what that scheduling guide looks like, okay, well, we know you're picking X, Y, and Z.
Parents need a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gives you the bigger picture versus the what am I doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had just a couple of weeks ago, the event where you parents could come in, parent night.
Yes, and so
They
we
used
had
it.
this up and running for them that night, so they were able to utilize it. And so we hope, especially as we start the new school year, I know Ms. Harper and Ms. Casey and I plan to also kind of revamp their senior hub website and kind of make something similar and also put it on the app. So we hope that when they start working with students next year, that they can, you know, encourage them, hey, this is on the Rockcastle County Schools app. We have really good information on there. You know, especially when we start working on that senior side, they can encourage them. If you want to look at open scholarships, go to the Rockcastle County Schools app. You'll get that direct information. So we've just been really trying to narrow down what some of our information looks like, really key on our communication to make sure we're getting families and students what they need.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
for letting me share with you. Now we've worked really, really hard on it, and and I know Miss Casey and Miss Harper are very proud of what this has come as well. I hated that they were not able to join me this evening because I could have not done any of this without them.
I'm very glad that you did this before another year from now.
And this was her brainchild, though.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is her passion project.
absolutely.
I remember
Yeah.
talking about it in the fall.
Yeah,
So.
we started talking about it, and my wheels started spinning as they usually do. I know Miss Angie will call me, and she'll be like, "Savannah,
I know.
an idea," and I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
She's got the best ideas.
But this has been, I think it will be really, really beneficial for our families. But again, thank you all for letting me share it with you.
It is great, isn't it?
Thank you.
It is
Thank
great.
you,
Thank you,
Savannah.
Savannah, for all your hard work.
I appreciate
You've
it.
done excellent.
And families across Rockcastle will be thanking you for months and years to come, I'm sure.
This is only related because it's website, but a parent reached out to me about next year's school calendar, and I couldn't find it on the website. So I don't know if I'm not looking in the right spot or if it's just not there, but
I will make sure.
just an effort.
It's going to change soon. It's there.
The next
Next
year,
year's
come
is
next
there.
year.
25 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It's
sure it
there.
is, but I will double check
Okay.
to make sure.
Maybe
Yeah,
I.
I do. I understand.
Okay.
Really.
That
Thank you
probably
so
means
much,
it's on
Savannah.
there.
Item 3C is our RCMS construction update.
So, Stephen was not able to be with us this evening. So Daryl is with us tonight, and Trent is not here as well. So, Daryl is our main speaker tonight for construction update.
He was supposed to come with jokes. Did he let you know that?
No, but you did say something about that, and one of my things was to apologize for all the noise. And I do think we're about done with that, at least till summer. So that's where I'm just gonna walk you from the front to the back. The bus road, as you can kind of see, if you've driven by, the temporary bus road is about in. Of course, we put it in last week, and then the rain destroyed it, which was good in a way because it gave us the idea of how it may happen during the thing. So we fixed all that, and they about finished that up tonight as I left. So next few days, the buses are going to start just trying it a little bit and get used to running that little road to make that path happen. What that does is opens up the whole back for us, for them not to be in the way. I think one of the things that's been kind of amazing is actually with all this terrible weather, we've really actually got a lot done. As you can see, finally stuff's coming out of the ground. So it's a little more exciting. You can at least see it's not, the concession stand has walls, it's coming around. And then we're working on the C&D area, which is your kitchen and cafeteria. So their footers are coming up. All of our wall panels came in today for them to pour all the concrete. So you'll start seeing everything come out of the ground. So it'll be a lot better. You can't really see it, but they've poured almost half of the bleachers, first 5 rows. And we're kind of expecting the bleachers to be done around June 1st. So we can go ahead and we'll get the seating in and all of that. The football field itself is at grade level, and now they're going to start putting in all of the drainage for that area. And it's been amazing. We've kept all the dirt and all the stuff on things. It's kind of gone in the back to kind of, fill that whole back area in. And I don't know if that's about it. It's not 100% exciting, but it's been great. I've worked on a lot of projects, and it's been great working, especially with the schools.
I was gonna say, Daryl's been great. Anytime I'm like, it's a little loud, or we don't have power, or.
For a while, it was chase down the smell.
Yeah, it's a smell, yeah.
The good thing too is we're not really incorporated in with the students very much. You know what I mean? We're kind of out of that area. The stage was the one area, and actually the Masons went in and last rain days last week and got the last masonry room in there. So we pretty much aren't in there very much. So I think that's the good thing. It should be really kind of divided once we move with this bus road, because then every word is going to stay into the back. Feel free to come to the trailer anytime, especially all of you. If you want to come tour or just ask me questions, it's fine. So I'm here every day, so I'm your on-site construction person.
Yeah.
I was excited about the football field.
What?
The football field. Yeah.
It's going. We're scheduling that. We'll make it. I think we'll make it. So there's nothing me right now saying now. If you looked at the main schedule right now, you'd say, hey, we're behind. That's really tough in the winter. That's always going to happen. You're going to catch up quick. You have really good subs on this job. Really guys nice to work with. They don't complain about anything I ask them to do, especially when we had to kind of work around testing and all that stuff. So it should be a really good process the whole time through. And now that we're down in the back, we really shouldn't be a sound issue at all. So, but the problem, as you know, is you dig 2 foot of nice dirt, and then there's 1 foot of solid rock. So.
I think we're going to start contacting landscapers, and we're just going to come around with Sharpies, and we're going to start pricing rocks.
Yeah.
And just let them start hauling them away.
You can see them now; they're big, So, we did have just as a side note, a safety inspection yesterday. Everything was great on our end. The only thing they just wanted us to do was wear seatbelts on the equipment, which guys don't like to do that. But everything else will look good for them as it being, safe to be around at the work site. So, should be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Item 4 is operations and actions. Does anyone have any questions? I had a question about the food service. Explain. I mean, is that anything different than what
we're just wanting to feed after school, and that is the child and adult care food program. So it's a reimbursement, but we have to go into an agreement that we will run it. It's kind of like the national lunch program, but
it's an entirely separate thing though, besides the national lunch program.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and it's after school feeding, like a meal, not just a snack.
Okay.
So for any of our students that are staying for academic team practice or football practice or a club, then we will be able to offer supper to them.
Oh, that's
For
wonderful.
any of our students.
Okay.
But we
I
don't
was
do
very
like
confused
after school care for.
No,
No, it's just
There-
for-
now out in the public, people can apply for that, and it is for like adult care and things like that. But for the schools, it's a feeding program for after school feeding.
How will you determine how much food you need? Because I know the schools every day, it's chaos.
We'll have to have a schedule.
Okay.
Almost like they will submit this week. I have, the high school may have 120 kids that are staying after school this week, and we'll know how much food to prepare each day and how many meals to. They'll have to sign up with us, so we can have a number, an account.
Okay. Okay, my next question would be staffing to be able to accommodate that. So where does that come
That,
into
that will
play?
be our kitchen staff. It'll be extra pay
Okay,
outside of work hours, out of normal hours.
okay. Yes, thank you for explaining that, because I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know what it was. Anyone else have any other questions for anyone?
I do want to make a comment.
Sure.
If you will look at, 4E, approved board resolution adopting the five standard KSA superintendent effectiveness framework. I was approached, several months ago to see if I would be willing to pilot this. There's a 5 or 6 superintendents or school districts in the state that they approach to ask to pilot this evaluation process. It takes the evaluation from 7 standards to 5 and streamlines it. So you would be committing to piloting this for the upcoming school year and evaluating me based on these 5 standards. And then it will be introduced to the whole state after this first pilot year. So I just wanted to make sure. And Miss Angie was part of that.
I sat in on that conversation too, and it's gonna be just streamlined. Nothing major has changed. It's gonna be a lot easier.
Well, a lot of the other evaluation process, it was just repetitive, a lot of repetitive.
Yes, so we'll pilot it for this year. The only thing that will change is you will have to do my evaluation next year, either in April or May, because they want the data back in time to be able to then implement for all the other districts in the state.
Sure. But this year we remain the same.
This year's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Move to approve the operations and actions.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second, all in favor? Item 5A is review and approve the monthly financial reports. Ms. Jenny?
You have your reports for the month of March. Just to point out, in looking at general fund, our primary fund for our operations, we had revenues of $2,345,145 and expenditures of $1,845,438. So we always monitor, our revenue expenditures on a monthly basis. You'll see our cash balance there for Fund 1. Again, continuing to monitor that to make sure that we are in a good place as we move toward the end of the school year and in preparation for the upcoming year. And, in June, I put over in my board notes some data for you on, our current payroll and what we would anticipate our payroll to be for the month of June. So we'll take a look at that as well.
About that. I think the payroll is 1.1 million or something, but the June payroll was 4 point something million, which is more than 3 times 1.1. So I was trying to figure that out.
Right. So, in the month of our employees that are not 12-month employees receive their June, July, and August checks.
Okay.
So they receive 3 checks in the month of June. Any other questions?
From your professional standpoint, how do you feel about our standing right now financially?
We are in good standing. And that is continually monitored in each fund.
Have we received any notification about any cuts for any federal dollars or state dollars?
Yes, there are some specific funds that we know that will no longer, that we will no longer receive. One of those specific funds is in food service, and Mr. Chris may want to share specifically about that, but we have received some.
Yeah, like the LFS, which is local money that we have for local farmers, produce or beef or whatever.
Now they haven't said for sure that it's not, but a training I was at in March last month, that was the talk. They haven't.
Anything that's probably going to be gone, and then the fresh fruit and vegetable, which is a program inside of the national lunch program. And that's a lot of money. That's what we do at all the elementary schools with the fruits and vegetables. That it could possibly go to the side as well. So
I mean, it's a big chunk of money.
We just recently, I know Brandon was concerned about some funding that supports, online registration. You may want to share, Brandon.
Online registration and campus learning, we've been told that those are two products within Infinite Campus. We've been told that we would have that paid for by the state until next March. And then about a week ago, that money was pulled back and now we will have to find a way to pay for those things.
How much are we talking about?
In that case, it's $15,000.
Mhm.
Nothing like the food service case.
So as a leadership team, we are all communicating, as we are aware of cuts and things that we know that we need to build into the budget and plan for next year. But there's conversations out there about other cuts that, we can't plan for those until we know. But we are, keeping all of those things in mind as we're planning for next year.
We don't know that from the, I'm like, let's go. That's not what we do.
Yes, yes. We made.
But the cuts we got, the cuts that I was talking about is extra state money.
But the project, early on, we had a little bit different plan for our ESSER funding, and part of that was, some of the buses we ordered when we were going to pay for with ESSER, we realized, the time button was just like, much different than we anticipated. That would have been what we would have requested an extension for, but just knowing that we would kind of be pushing that out there, we decided to shift and wrap that up at the end of June, so.
Jenny, and I give Miss Jenny that credit for that because she said, she just having so much experience with working with federal grants and federal monies. She just cautioned us that we needed to spend our ESSER funds and meet that deadline and not try to file for an extension, which I'm very thankful that Miss Jenny had that wisdom to advise us that way. And so, because there's 11 districts that are really in, it's difficult times.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ms. Jenny.
Yes, if you think of any other questions, feel free to contact me anytime.
With that being said, I need a motion to approve our monthly financial report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Item 5B, review and approve the amended 24-25 Rockcastle County School calendar. Mr. Redford.
So in February, I asked you to amend the calendar, and we, the March 14th meeting date, we asked you all in February to amend the calendar, and March 14th PD day, we turned it to instructional day. And then that next week, we had canceled for 3 days because of snow. And so you all can see the calendar there reflects all those days that we had to close throughout the course of the year. And of course, the NPI days and instructional days, so they're not reflected on that, those days off the calendar. So if you look at the calendar, of course, the biggest change is that the last day of school on this calendar will be marked as May the 29th, and the closing day will be on May the 30th, that will be that Friday. That's 161 days of instruction, but there's also give us a little flexibility. If we did have flood, blizzard, earthquake, whatever, we stop 1 day before we get to that weekend and letting us to go for the next weekend in June. So that'll give us a little flexibility there as well. We planning on graduation being that Thursday night and discussion about that. We would also that day dismiss at 11 a.m. That does give us a little bank time as well.
Explain just to everybody why, I know a lot of people are asking about the extra days. Why are we not getting days from the state? And I kind of understand it, but just so I can help other people.
So the extra days are coming from the state adopting what we already have. So we have a we adopted variable calendar, which requires 1,062 hours as opposed to the 170 days that a traditional calendar requires. So essentially, other districts are now, that's the standard, 1,062 hours. So we don't do that because we already did that. We had it time at the beginning of the year to make up for that time. So, it's not that those days out there, there is gonna be a benefit to us not using those days. We'll be allowed on SAR report, which that's important coming to the state end of the year that tied directly to our C codes. Instead of dropping 5 low attendance days like traditionally you can do, if you don't take those days and you've done 5 that way, you can drop 10 days. So that will benefit us pretty dramatically. And like for instance, those days that we were out in September, those 3 days that we went to school, that bill did not pass to give us those days back. But what that will allow us to do is essentially we'll drop those 3 days. Those days are going to go. They wouldn't have gone anyways in the 5, but that'll allow us some of these other days, like the days when the weather wasn't great, the attendance isn't great. That will give us a lot of flexibility, and I'm really anxious to see how that helps us. I don't know exactly, but it'll definitely help us dropping twice as many days.
I just get that question a lot. I'm sure we all have. Why didn't we get any? And I thought the variable calendar was part of the answer.
Yeah.
Other districts are now, it just gave them the legal ability to change to a variable calendar mid-year.
Right.
But we were already doing it, so there was no benefit to us of that.
And you had to add time. We already had time.
Yeah.
So.
We were ahead of the game there too.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it.
I want to say again how much I appreciate Ken and everybody's work to go to school on some days that we traditionally would have missed with bus routes and that sort of thing and thinking outside the box. So appreciate very much that, and we did an hour delay and it worked and different things like that. I just really appreciate the extra work to do that because that's been huge for our folks.
Been a weird year.
Yes, it has.
Weird year.
Are all of our roads passable now? I know there was some damage like around Clear Creek or someplace like that, or just
Lawler Holler is still, they're looking for a tile. There's a tile that needs to be put in before that road can be opened up. There's part of Hammond's Fork, but it was at a location that is not where we drive at.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the one you're talking about there, but it's past where we turn around. If you're trying to get to Big Hill, you would have to go a long way around.
Sure.
To get there. But yeah, there's been several other places that I'll give a lot of credit to the Camden State. We call them all the time. Hey, can you go look at this? Go check out this. And they're great to work with us and help us. And I think we had Mullen Station. There was a part of Mullen Station that we weren't able to run for a couple of days until they could get out there and look at it and do some work on it. Just big hole. It didn't affect very many kids, but it did affect some.
Need a motion to approve the amended 24-25 Rockcastle County School Calendar.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Item 6A is review the superintendent's personnel action report.
Give you all just a moment to look at that to see if you have any questions.
Item 7, department reports. Do any of you fine folks have anything you want to share? You're a quiet bunch, ready to go home. Item 8, superintendent communication.
I just have a few notes of some dates and some activities that are taking place. April the 21st, we have the Kentucky Department of Education is sending 2 science consultants down, and potentially the commissioner is coming along. He hasn't 100% confirmed that he's going to be available, but they're coming to tour all of our schools to look at how we have implemented HQIR, which is high quality instructional resources in the area of science. So they are coming to model that to see what we're doing. They're going to do some interviews with some science teachers and also observe some classroom instruction and then meet with principals to get some ideas about how we've implemented that. So really excited about that. And Mr. Thomas and I will be traveling along with them and going from site to see. So proud that they chose us to be able to come. And I do want to highlight the amazing work that took place at the high school today. We had a reverse career fair, and we had a group of juniors and seniors that demonstrated their work that they've done with the portrait of a rocket. And it was truly, I think picture of it, and all I could say really was wow. I think Miss Angie came up and toured today, but our students are phenomenally impressive. I mean, I wish that everybody could have seen what we saw. Miss Jenny was there, and I just can't speak highly enough of the high school and the work that they put in. And this stemmed from our PIM grant that we have and the work that Miss Nikisha and her staff have done. And it was a phenomenal. And that was a high school, but yesterday, if you got an opportunity to go to the Heritage Day, the Kentucky Heritage Day at the Farmers Market, that also was an amazing day and highlighting the work of our gifted and talented students. And we had everything from quilts that they had made to baskets to corn shuck dolls and lots of great display of learning. And it was just so neat to hear the students talk and just to talk about their projects and what they had learned, and a lot of photography and just a great demonstration. So super 2 days in a row that I've been incredibly proud of the instructional work taking place. Just love that and seeing our students. This is a date for you to put on your calendars. May the 22nd is the reception and dinner for the best places to work. And that is going to be in Lexington at at the Rupp Arena. Is it the Civic? It's not
Central Bank.
Central Bank. Thank you. I was going to say Civic Center. That's taken me back a few years. Central Bank Center. The reception begins at 4:30, and the dinner is at 6. And we have reserved a table for all of you. So again, May the 22nd, and hope you'll be able to join us. Yes, I sure will. And then our end of the year cookout again will be May the 29th. We're dismissing at 11 o'clock, and then we will do the agriculture community has agreed again to provide the meat for us to cook hamburgers and to provide dinner for our staff. So hope you all are able to come and participate. And
Do we have the set dates for our testing in place yet?
yes, Mr. Thomas, that day, that May the
It would be, well, with you all approving the calendar, that makes it for Friday, May the 9th, I believe.
that is the 9th.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's the official first day.
Lots of good things happening across the district, and any opportunity you get to stop and visit one of our schools, I encourage you to do so. You'd be just pleasantly surprised at all the great stuff happening.
And we said graduation was going to be the 29th also.
Yes, ma'am. The 29th. That's a busy day. We're half day. We're gonna cook for everyone, and then
Smell like cheeseburgers as we
maybe
go
we
in for
maybe we run
graduation.
home and change clothes and make up graduation. Yep, but that's all that I have. Just appreciate you all as always, and thank you for supporting us and the work that we're doing.
Thank you. I was just going to say, Saturday is the celebration of the arts.
Oh yes, I didn't mention that. Please come to that if you're available.
Thank you, Angie.
Thanks.
That's
Yes.
Saturday. And I wanted to just say, how appreciative Miss Cassie and Miss Carrie has been, when I've been around them. Shout out to the middle school drama team. Their little play was wonderful.
great.
It was great. I was
Yeah.
like,
And the high schools is this week too, tomorrow night.
tomorrow night. What time does that start? Do you know?
No, but Moana's been talking about it on.
Yeah.
6.
I think so. That's what,
Yeah.
I think that's what Patrick said.
I want to go see it. Yes. Matt, do you have anything?
I don't think so.
Miss Angie?
I just have some you stole some of my thunder on
Oh,
the Heritage Day.
sorry.
No, I didn't get to go, but it looked wonderful. I would love to challenge us to see in 1 month how many events we have at all our schools after hours. Because I'm
Chris is
trying to
gonna
add them
know here
all
real
up.
soon.
Everything, sports. I mean, it's just amazing. All that's going on. And it makes me so happy. So shout out to those two things. Yes, the career fair, reverse career fair was wonderful today. Lots of good feedback, I think, from people who came to it. Very impressed with our students. Very impressed with the PIM Rock group. It was wonderful. I loved it. Shout out to the kids who won. 4 kids won. I think 2 juniors, 2 seniors. So, but they all were great. They were all great. And then all the spring sports. There's a lot going on right now. A lot of track and field, tennis. I'm going to forget something. I apologize.
Yes, we have over 80 kids that are on the track team.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
We know track.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Where are
It's-
they?
Where are they going? They're
Running at the high school. So.
Good loop there.
but it's really growing and the kids
And
are excited.
they're doing really good from what I can tell. their social media presence is great. So I think it's great. That's all. I just wanted to share some really great news for everybody out there. Good, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Surprisingly, I don't have anything besides just thank you all for everything that you do, and it's a great place to be. You know, we have a beautiful community. It's great to see our kids when they get to put things on display. You know, wow. You know, it makes you, a mama's heart proud of them. But whenever, it's great to see all of our children, and I think that that's one of the things that, you know, from day one since I started on the board, I want every child to have an opportunity to shine. Not your children that are coming from, you know, we had just had this discussion earlier, you know, I meet a lot of folks that if I wonder if I had lived the life that they had lived as a child, where would I be at today? You know, what decisions would I have done? And, you know, just being able to give these opportunities to all of our children is just, it's a game changer for them. So with that being said, I need a motion for us to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yep.
Everybody